That was it. She didn't have the camera.
Can you see that?
Is anybody here?
Oh wow, you guys. This is yeah, is anybody here? I can't tell.
I think there are definitely people here. I think it's still loading on their side.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes there's a delay. So we just for safety's sake, we're gonna make sure that this is working because for whatever reason, we just could not get anything to live. We just couldn't get any device in my house to live stream. And you'll notice there isn't Leslie right now.
There's not? I'm not Leslie. Let me get my blonde wig.
Listen, do you want me to go get the one from upstairs?
Oh my god.
Do you want my Dolly Parton wig?
No, I think I'm okay.
All right, fine.
There we are. We're on now.
Okay, so we've done it, I think. Leslie has had an emergency that she had to deal with. Everybody is fine. Nobody is unhealthy. She just had something that she unfortunately had to deal with immediately. And then nothing would sign on. So it's been like a very interesting evening tonight.
Sure has.
So interesting.
But we here now.
But we are here now.
Yeah.
We're gonna let everybody kind of trickle and figure out what we're doing for a hot minute, and then tonight's kind of loosey goosey. We have some topics we want to talk about. We have some hi Haley, hello. We have some phobias we want to talk about. We would like to hear what you want to hear about, and then we'll kind of explore them together. That's just how this live's gonna kind of work. It's not going to be like a live show, but you'll still get to learn that. And then our full HALF-O-WEEN episode, which John will also be a guest on, will be coming out this coming week. And that will have full stories. And you never know, perhaps something that you asked for or contributed will make its way into the episode.
Yeah.
And Leslie will be here. She is coming. She's just dealing with...
When she makes it on camera, everybody just like do like the little like hand emojis, the little clappies, you know?
Mm-hmm. So that's Dipper. That's my angry puppy. I should probably get him. He is screaming, Dipper.
And then there was one.
I know it's just John.
It's just me.
Here. Come here.
Welcome to John is Dead.
John would be dead.
John has died. John is a ghost right now.
He just really wanted everyone to look at him because he's very beautiful, but also he gets very angry when he's restrained. So let's see if he turns into a crab or not. So we'll see.
He's very cute though.
He is. That's Pod Dog Dipper. He's really being photogenic for you right now.
Yeah.
So
hi
Deppy Doodle. Yeah, he likes to look beautiful a whole lot. He's like, not purebred. Look at me. Okay, so guys, I'm so sorry. Look at the pour of wine that I have. It's like the whole. You're not supposed to fill it up, but I said, yes, I am.
You're allowed to do whatever you want tonight.
I'm in my own home.
Exactly. You don't have to drive.
So, we did poll the group earlier, I think like last week, and asked about your phobias, specifically any that would be out of the ordinary, outside the box. And we got a few interesting answers, but for the most part, you guys have some pretty run-of-the-mill, like, stable-minded fears.
Yeah, which I guess is good for you.
Which is good. It means you've not been traumatized in a very specific way.
Right.
Because as I have discovered, if you have one of those weird ones, you probably have had an encounter with that specific thing. Like the first one I listed was a phobia that was specifically of otters. I know, and I thought, like, surely this is made up.
Right. Like, who could be afraid of those tiny little hands?
They hold hands.
I know.
But it's real.
I can't.
And it's real because they're incredibly violent.
It's like dolphins.
Dolphins are rapey.
Well, yes. True.
None of it's good, but I did discover through my very first bit of research that otters are like, he's good for right now, unless you're going upstairs. Oh, say goodbye, Dipper.
Bye, Dipper.
Okay. I did discover that they're extremely aggressive to humans. No matter how much we want to love them because they look like squishy little teddy bears, they maul like more people than bears.
Like, maul?
Do not pick the otter.
Listen.
Don't do it.
Who would you rather be trapped with?
Don't pick the otter. You're
A man
gonna
or an otter?
want to. You're gonna want to. Don't do it. No, they attack like hundreds of people a year, and I found so many articles on people that were like hospitalized. And so for some people, it's a very real fear, which led me to like looking at like, well, what else is out there?
Yeah.
And what could lead to that? So, John, you have a list, don't you?
I do have a list.
Okay, so we have some of the weirdest phobias, and then we'll discuss them. And if any of you have these, please chime in, because I would love to know. But I also, this week in our episode, I'm going to specifically talk about how I think most to all of them have a very similar root. Most phobias are rooted in like the same kind of thing.
Right.
We'll have to like wait and see what that is.
I'm very interested about that. But here is my list that I have compiled of obscure fears that I think are obscure, but who knows?
Let's see if I found any different ones.
Arachnobutyrophobia.
Did you pronounce any of them already, or no?
No, this is all
Okay.
fresh and live.
All right, well, I'll help you. Okay.
Arachnobutyrophobia, which is the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of the mouth.
So the internet loves this. It loves it. It loves it. But did you research it at all?
No, I just
So-
listed them and like what they mean.
So here's the funny thing. This is related to the same kind of fear if you go to the dentist and being numb in your mouth frightens you. Because I have that. Like, I recently discovered that a lot of my dental scaredness, okay, because I go to a sedation dentist, cannot recommend enough. But a lot of my problem is that being numb makes me feel like I can't breathe. Like, I think the mechanism isn't working. When I'm numb in my soft palate, specifically, down here, I'm fine. Up in your upper mouth. So when it's peanut butter specifically on the roof of your mouth, right? So when you have something stuck to the roof of your mouth, a lot of times you think it's suffocating you. So if your brain says, panic, 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 I can't breathe. So that's why people have that. But I wonder, like, it has to be a lot specifically.
I mean, I'm trying to think of like how much peanut butter you gotta like pack on the roof of your mouth.
Ew! You're just like jamming it in there.
Then all I can think of is Patty LaPone when she's like,
you gotta blow a hunk of peanut butter.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't miss any of the list. That was the first one, so you're good.
Where are we? Oh, hello.
Okay, number 2 is pogonophobia.
Oh, is that clowns?
No.
It should be though, right?
It should be. Pogonophobia is fear of beards. So right now I could be terrifying somebody, even though it's not like long and scraggly. But like, that's wild. I suppose there's so many instances where like somebody could have triggered something in you who had a beard.
It's also because you cannot read their facial expressions as well.
True.
When your brain can't read a facial expression, like I've done frozen faces before, why we, and specifically children, are afraid of frozen faces, which would be masks or clown makeup or sometimes just like a lot of makeup. It's because they can't gauge how you're feeling or what you're going to do. And so suddenly you're in a totally unknown situation.
Right.
This person has become like a loose cannon. And maybe to some brains, a beard is like, I can't.
It's frozen down here.
Are you smiling? Are you frowning? Are you going to bite me? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe that's what's happening. This is a fun game. Let's see how many I can explain.
All right.
It's not going to be all of them, but I have a theory that loss of control is the root to almost every phobia.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That does
it's one way or another. Like with the peanut butter and the dental thing, it's breathing. You feel like you can't control your breathing. That's terrifying. It's not, it's out of your hands. You're just done.
Right.
You're just going to expire.
Rest in peace.
Otters, just going to expire via otter. Next.
Number 3 is nomophobia.
No.
The fear of being without your mobile phone or being unable to use it. No, that's
Is it?
No, it's nomophobia.
I hate that. Why?
It should be no phone phobia.
Phonophobia. That would be way better.
But yeah, it's the fear of not having your cellular device or being unable to use it.
That's just FOMO.
I also feel like that's just like the younger generations.
I think
Like,
it
I know
depends
there's
on how afraid you are at being left outside a circle.
Yeah, or if you're like somebody who like fears like situations like end of the world or like
Oh, and then
something
you
like
wouldn't be
that, and then you
notified.
can't be notified or
Oh,
anything
I
like
didn't
that.
even think
Maybe
of
that.
that.
That's what came to mind
That's
first for
interesting.
me.
See, with me, I thought like a lot of people feel like if they're left out of a situation, they're gonna lose everything. They're like, oh,
Gotcha.
my friends are gonna forget me,
Forget
and
who I-
they'll forget the way I look. They'll run away.
Yeah.
But that's scary to a lot of people, and you're right. Like that's the scariest to kids.
Right.
They could feel like if the train leaves without them, all of a sudden they can't catch up.
Mhm.
So I would feel like the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
But you're right. If you don't hear like the emergency alerts, is the emergency response system telling you that
Right.
the zombies have taken over the hospital, then you can't.
Honestly, I don't even want that notification. Leave me
I
out.
don't even.
Let it be a surprise.
So I don't know if any of you guys feel the same way, but the emergency response system test has terrified me for my entire life. It scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
They're like, this is a test of the emergency response system. And I know it's a test, but my brain is like, oh,
This is it.
we're done now.
Well, especially after that. When was that? 2016. The Hawaiian, like the bomb thing. That test that was like,
Oh, yeah.
we're
I've
releasing
chosen
nukes.
to not remember that.
Yeah,
I
that
watched
was
that right out.
horrifying.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's do another one. Oh, you wanna try this one?
Let me see. Is it the long words one?
Mhm.
How dare. Hippotomonstrosequipedaliophobia. Had to go real slow.
Yeah.
Has more letters than the whole alphabet.
Do you want to know what that one is? It's the fear of long words.
I don't have an explanation for that one.
Neither. Also, who would do that?
That's
Who would make the
cruel.
name?
That's like it feels like a joke. It's not, but
Nope.
it feels like a joke. The missile thing was
2018.
2018.
Oh,
See,
okay.
I have totally blocked it out of my brain. It doesn't exist in there anymore. But
not real.
aren't you in Hawaii, Beth? Is that was probably way worse for you?
I literally couldn't imagine if that's where you are.
I know, yeah. That was much worse. In New Jersey, we were like,
Yeah.
what's going on? The only other thing I could assume with long words is that maybe you are afraid of like not knowing what things mean.
Yeah, that or like maybe you have like a speech thing that and you're like afraid to say big words.
If you have a speech impediment. And
Yeah.
I think that could be
That could be
directly
like
trauma
rooted.
related,
Yeah, like
too.
trauma related.
If you had to speak in front of a class or something and you messed them up and now you're like forever traumatized.
Yeah.
I was a really expressive reader in school and I got mocked mercilessly for it. So.
Yikes.
And I still read out loud in front of the class all the time. I didn't let it stop me.
Good.
You guys hear me read literally, I read, this is my job is reading out loud. So that's pretty funny. So fuck those kids. Kids are mean.
Kids are, I know kids are mean. I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people we may have gone to school with in our youths may have had ablutophobia, the fear of bathing or cleaning oneself.
Okay, so this one is deeply tied to mental illness.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of times it's going to sound really weird, but it's similar to like cannibalism thought processes where you're like, I will wash away a piece of myself. I have to keep everything that's mine.
Interesting.
So cannibals are like, if I eat someone, they will exist inside of me.
Oh.
So you feel like if I shower off,
Mhm.
part of me is going down that drain. And
Gotcha.
they're very afraid of that. They think that it's going to like wipe away their
the more you know.
like who they are.
Yeah.
And that happens in people that have like psychotic disorders like a lot.
Gotcha.
And that fear is not related to depression. Depression is when you just the motivation doesn't exist. That's very different. Being afraid to bathe, that's afraid of like, unless you're afraid of water.
Water, which is a whole other.
If you're afraid of like drowning, that's very different. But if you're afraid specifically of washing your body
yourself.
off,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of times it's that. And with kids, again, this is very much a loss of control thing because there are kids that don't want to bathe.
Yeah.
It's similar to, this might be TMI, to kids that withhold bowel movements.
Oh.
Some toddlers, like potty training specifically, will hold it in for like a really long time because they feel like it's part of them and they
Yeah.
don't want to let that go, which sounds
How interesting.
crazy. I
Yeah.
know it sounds like it's really hard to latch onto that line of thinking, but they are petrified and they don't want to do it. So, and that's usually people that like feel like they need a sense of control in their
Gotcha.
lives. So,
All right.
that's my guess. I am not, by the way, I'm not clearly not an expert on anything. I've read so many things.
That's valid.
So this is just, you can argue with me in the comments if you'd like. Totally fine.
What about some genophobia? Are you
Jen, she's so scary.
Oh, Jen!
Oh, I hate it. Not a Jen. My God.
Genophobia is the fear of knees. If you have them, you are now somebody's fear.
So like only double amputees above the knee are safe.
Are the only safe people.
I don't
Like, what did the knees do?
Somebody like need you a lot?
I guess.
So then you have like a response to seeing them?
But like also looking down?
Your own,
Like
so
your
are you
own
afraid
knees?
of your
Like-
own? We should look that up.
Yes.
Let me
It's-
see. I'm very curious. Are we afraid of our own knees or the knees of the world?
It's GENU phobia.
Save this one because I do have a fun story. Not fun. A story that's so disgusting I don't want to commit it to the podcast. So if we're all good, you can hear that one tonight. That's right. So you just hang in there. That's your reward. Fun fact: GENU is Latin for knee.
You know what? I should have figured that out.
Ah, so good. So how do we spell it? GEN.
GENU phobia.
Oh. Don't want to type it. Someone's extreme fear of knees. Maybe repulsed by how knees look. Okay, or
You know
they may
what?
worry about the vulnerability to knee injuries. So they're concerned their own knees are going to be like compromised. They're afraid of
Okay.
a knee injury.
Like-
Like ACL tears and knee dislocations. This is OCD. This is like
an extension of that.
yeah, this would be like a compulsive knee or like just an invasive thought where your brain's like, my knees are going to give out. I'm going to dislocate my knee.
Gotcha.
I'm going to do this one thing. Maybe you saw a TV thing or you had like when you're little, you watched your mom fall down and like gnarly dislocate her knee or something. So you fixate on that shit. I can see that happening. I could be wrong. Yeah, they may experience anxiety when seeing or touching knees, crossing legs, or having to kneel. Interesting. Causes and symptoms. Let's see if we can find. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. The other ones we talked about, I'm very confident about those. This one, less. And I have looked up some of these, so I'm not just like talking out of my bottom. That's what I said. Bottom. Okay. What is a phobia? We know what a phobia is.
I have seen some knees.
Some
that,
like gnarly looking knees.
they look
sure.
like faces sometimes. I've seen,
Ew, they look like faces.
if you look up face knees,
I don't ever want to. Guys, look up face knees.
somebody look up face knees. I would really like it if somebody did that and then
No.
got back to us.
Related phobias are basophobia, which is the fear of falling. That kind of makes sense. Bathmophobia, the fear of stairs or slopes that can cause you to trip or injure your knee. So you're afraid of, again, tripping and falling.
Yeah.
Dystichophobia, fear of having an accident like slipping. It's all fall associated. Oh, God.
Not that one.
Genophobia, fear of sex or sexual intimacy because you might see or touch knees. Not touching knees.
No knees.
Not the knees.
Not the knees.
Anywhere but the knees. Traumaphobia is the fear of any injury. So I think this one is more related to like you think you're going to hurt your knee.
Okay.
Rather than like, not the knees, whoa! But like,
Yeah.
the way it's phrased.
We have one more until we get to my favorite one.
Why do I have a fear
Why
of knees?
do I have a fear of knees?
Okay, I didn't see that part. Some people are repulsed by the bony appearance of knees. The idea of seeing or touching knees, their own or someone else's, kneeling or crossing legs brings on feelings of disgust, anxiety, or fear. If you were this is interesting. If you were brought up in a culture or religion that required covering your knees, you may have a hard time not thinking of exposed knees as sinful or bad. That is interesting. Seeing exposed knees may make you feel anxious or frightened because of that. Oh, wow.
I wonder if there's a fear of shoulders. Because you know that like shoulders were also risque. And ankles.
All of them.
All
These
of
are just
them.
joints that I dislocate, so I don't.
You're like, no, I'm good with mine. I know them. I know them well.
Hypermobile joints, so all of them are scary. Oh, and some people it's caused by seeing movies where like they take someone out at the knees, which is all of us go like
Yeah.
every butthole tightens when you see that shot where they just like whack somebody in the knees and they
Yep.
fall over. It's like seeing someone get their Achilles tendon cut.
That's the one that does it for me. That's the one
Nope.
that does it for me.
Oh,
No,
boy.
thank you.
Mm-mm.
Hate that.
I can't do that one either. When in like horror films, when they're like they cut somebody's Achilles tendon, that's not something that I can watch.
No.
I can't handle it. So, okay,
Yeah.
we get it.
I guess so.
We have come around to
Oh my
relating to
goodness.
most of them.
Yeah,
We're doing really well.
we are.
What's the next one?
I don't have this one. But I feel like my body does. Somnophobia.
Fear of sleeping?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, neither one of
Listen.
us sleep, so we
Nope.
can't.
We have no room to talk about this one. We just
But
don't
we're
do
not
it.
afraid.
No, we desperately would love sleep.
This is another one that is connected pretty heavily to things like dementia and mental illness because you're afraid that you are either not going to wake up or not know what's happening when you wake up.
Right.
So, and it's also common in children, which, I mean, you can see the connection there. Anybody that doesn't have that like object permanence or like doesn't understand what's happening to them.
Yeah.
Going to sleep is like dying.
Which, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, they
So-
feel like I cease to be when I sleep, and I don't want that to happen.
No.
So that one I've read. These are also things I've read about in my psychology classes. So, but yeah, that one is a little more common than the knee one. But I relate more to the knees than the sleep.
Yeah. Which is odd. But I bet you can't relate
Messed
to
up
this
which
one.
ones are relating to.
I feel like I've never met anybody or heard about this until today.
Oh,
Anatidaephobia.
what?
Anatidaephobia is the fear of being watched by waterfowl, specifically
You
ducks.
said watch it. I was like, yes, no.
So this is literally, and it has nothing to do with the like being attacked by a duck
Okay.
or waterfowl in general.
It's just what they're like staring through your soul.
It's the fact that at any moment you could be being watched by a duck.
You could.
And you know what?
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. You could watch me, duck.
Please.
Come at me, duck. Let's go.
I'll roast you.
Mhm.
Don't
What
tempt
are
me.
you, a duck? I don't care. You're like
Yeah.
this big.
It must be.
I could kick you across the room, duck.
I don't even know where that could stem from. I mean, I can understand being afraid of geese or birds or
Geese are
things like that.
terrifying.
Yes.
Geese are dinosaurs. They're
Correct.
very scary.
Correct.
My old house on Pine.
Mhm.
Leslie, are you here?
Quack, quack.
Are you watching us in a duck costume?
Oh my
That would be
goodness.
great.
I'm terrified. Oh my god, wait. I'm waiting for somebody to come up to the window in a duck costume.
My bay window is like right across from us, and Leslie's little face just came up. Don't, Leslie, don't do that. That's terrifying. She's on her way. Yay! Are you liking the content we have so far? I hope so. That's what I think I'm curious about because so far, every time we talk them through, I've been like, oh, I get it.
Yes. This one is very
You're really
interesting.
challenging me, John.
You know, that's what I'm here for.
Fear of being watched by waterfowl. Because I don't need to try and spell that shit. Yep, there it is. Anatidaephobia.
But are not necessarily worried about them attacking
No.
or approaching them. How odd.
Wow. Fear of ducks watching you, is it a real condition? Psych Central.
I didn't really
has
check
more.
to see if it was 100% real.
I mean, a phobia is, you know what a phobia is. I hate every one of these sites who's like, let's tell you what a phobia is.
Do you know what a
I
phobia
know what it
is?
is. Just get to the ducks.
Get to
Oh,
the
God
ducks. I
damn
want
it.
that on a shirt. Get to the ducks.
Get to the ducks. So, fear of ducks might be watching you, which comes from the Greek word anatide, which means swan, ducks, or geese, and phobos, which means fear. Thank you. They're not worried about attack.
Nope.
That's not a problem.
Nope.
They're worried that they're staring at them. Constantly. Not just that they may at any point in time, that your whole...
Are they like in your walls?
Yes!
Like, what?
That they're just, no matter where you are or what you're doing, ducks are watching. I mean, like, if I had that, I'd be like, they're in here somewhere, and they are watching me.
I just imagine like every time you like move a chair across the floor and it makes a sound. Like the ducks.
Oh my god! Oh no!
That's so interesting.
Oh, it's fictional.
Oh.
Wah, wah.
Well, now I have it.
Although, fear of constantly being watched by a dog, yeah,
That's
I am.
Yeah. I mean, that
Although-
would be odd.
Listen, we were able to make connections to everyone but that one, and
Mhm.
that was the fake one. So we're good at this.
Look at, oh my gosh. You
Yeah,
are.
we just went-
Then we have 2 more.
Leslie, we're nailing it.
We're killing it. Papyrophobia.
Is that like paper?
Yeah, fear of paper, which honestly I could understand because I really do hate paper cuts.
Ooh, the way paper like feels, certain
Ugh.
paper.
Also, if my hands are dry and I touch paper.
Or you're in an antique store and you touch a book. It's so dry.
Relatable. It's, oh, I hate it so much.
And then your hands are like, you just can't.
Yeah,
Is this a neurodivergent thing?
it could, honestly, it could be. Every day I think I find out a little bit more that I might have a little bit of a neurospicy brain.
Listen, we all have a little.
I
It's
know.
fine. At this point, I'm like, I don't know if I can relate to you if you don't.
Right.
So
hmm
it's fine.
And then the last one I have is a fear that you and I would not have careers if we had.
Oh no.
It is chorophobia, the fear of dancing.
I mean, I'm not afraid of dancing.
I mean, I'm afraid of dance calls.
I hate callbacks. I don't want to do a dance call ever. Yeah, agreed.
Ever, yeah.
That's terrifying.
But like, I will dance.
Yeah, I will if I have to.
Yes.
It also relates to memory for me with that one. I never remember it. I don't remember what you're showing me. Stop it.
No, I just smile the whole time and hope that they enjoy it.
I know, and I'm like, guys, okay. But you're like afraid of, maybe it's like in like the knee one.
I'm
Maybe
going to
you're
say
afraid
it
of
could be
getting
linked
hurt.
to like injury
Falling
or
or-
falling, things like that.
I'm gonna say that if a fear of knees is related to falling, then a fear of dancing is
Mhm.
most certainly related
Yeah.
to falling. Interesting.
Super interesting.
Interesting.
So those are the list of fears that I found that I thought were quite obscure and interesting.
Yeah, most of the ones that I found that were like the weirdo ones you covered. I did find the otter one though. And also, I think there is one for dolphins because they.
I understand that one. Like, ooh, hate that.
Male dolphins. Pick the bear.
Yeah, at least a bear is only going to kill
Pick 'em.
you.
That's dolphin's gonna keep you for a while
Yep.
until you drown.
Yikes.
It's true. That's how
Yeah.
people die in those attacks because they aggressively try to mate with people until they drown.
That's so odd.
It's true though.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
So like people are, it's always people that are like dolphins,
Right. And you jump into the
Swim
water
towards
and then
them,
you
yeah.
never come back out.
Coiffurophobia, Leslie, is that hair?
Oh, I bet it is.
John, you're not afraid of hair, thank
I
God.
used to be.
What?
Wait, how is that? COI?
Yeah, COIFFE, or like coiffure, like your hairdo, and then phobia.
Is the fear is the fear of hairdressers,
Oh,
which I bet
no.
there's a lot of kids that wind up having.
That's control
You
too.
know,
If someone's
yeah.
taking your hair, they're cutting your
Mhm.
hair, and you, when you're a little kid, you don't have control of that a lot of times.
No,
they
and
just
I
make you.
Do you remember as a child, like holding onto the door frame of the and my mom was like, "You need to get your hair cut." And I was like,
no, no, I hate that.
yeah. So because I don't know, but I also got nicked in the ear one time,
Oh no.
and it was like a lot of blood, and they put like the quick stop on it or whatever,
styptic
and
stuff?
the styptic stuff.
Yeah.
Quick stop is for dogs. And well, I hate myself, and it burned so bad that I like started crying even more, and I just was like, I never want to get my hair cut again. So
Well, that's a valid fear. That's
Yeah.
really scary. When I was little,
now I do wigs.
this
So
one, yeah, my mom burnt this ear with a curling
oh my
iron.
goodness.
And if you see, I don't know if you can see it if you have to touch it, but there's a dent there to this day.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a dent in
Look
my
at
car that's
that.
right here because I am a product of the 80s, wherein curling irons, little tiny thin ones, hot
Oh,
as like
Still have one of
the
those.
devil's taints. It's the worst.
yep.
They will kill you,
Yeah.
and you had to have these like tight little curl. I mean, I had like the bangs, I had all the things,
Yeah.
and my mom would like ringlet all my hair, and she'd beat the shit out of my ear.
Oof.
Yeah, it was weird forever.
So those are some fears. Do any of you have specific fears? I mean, like I know me, I have Not many, but they are intense fears.
What are they?
I have a intense fear of heights.
Really?
And you want to know what's super weird about that? Is that I
Yes.
never had that fear, ever,
Uh-oh.
until 2011 when we had that stupid earthquake that was nothing. I was on the third floor.
And that was like...
Yeah, that people were like this.
Yeah.
I was on the third floor of a very tall third floor building,
Mhm.
and the floor was rippling, like I could see it, and the signs were swaying back and forth. I was in a mall.
Oh my God.
And I could feel the floor shaking, obviously, but I thought that the floor was going to cave in, and ever since then, I've had a fear of heights.
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean...
But I'm generally okay in like a plane or something, but like if I'm in a building and I can feel the floor shake or something, or if I'm like on a tall set piece in a show.
Not in the catwalk very often.
Oh, never.
No, it's
I went up there one time, and as soon as I saw that I could see through the floor, I had to back
It's
away.
not good.
Yeah.
I don't like planes.
That's honest to goodness
I don't
fair.
like planes. I don't like them. I have to be like kind of medicated every time I'm on a plane. So
I
I'm
wish
like,
I was medicated
have
the
to
last time.
Did you ever go?
Oh, just recently.
I feel like I know this. Yeah, I feel like you told us.
I
It's
thought my plane
terrible.
was going down on the way home from Portland. It was the
Oh, that's right. You said they told you about
yeah. The
turbulence.
captain said, what did he say? He said, "Oh, we're about to experience some moderate turbulence. Hang on to your seats." And I was like, "Well,
Don't
I should
say that.
call my parents. Like, bye, mom, I'm gonna die." So
You
yeah.
can't call them. You're in
No,
the
I'm in the air.
air.
Yeah, it was too much. So I don't like flying, but I'm generally okay in a plane.
I feel it feels risky. It feels
I
risky
agree,
to me.
especially now.
Feels like you could just plummet.
Doors
from the
are
sky.
falling off the freaking planes. Get out of here.
Lord, I need to be like, I need a Xanax and I need a Bloody Mary
Put me on
because
a
tomato
train.
juice in the air is a thing. People need it. It's true.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why a lot of people get Bloody Marys. It's something about the
Interesting.
vitamin C or something. But yeah, it's a thing that is especially good when you're in the air. Anybody else drink Bloody Marys in the plane? Do you? I do. It's fine. But I need to be like, I need to sleep for a large portion of it.
Yeah.
And because I'm bad at sleeping, something needs to help me do that.
Yeah.
So if I was taking like quite a long flight, like if I was like, I'm gonna go to Australia because I love scary animals, I would need like Ambien. I would just have to be like put right the hell out because it would be ugly.
That's fair.
When I flew to Vienna.
Oh, right.
That was a rather long one, but
Mm-hmm.
the plane was way more comfortable than normal planes.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
on my way there, which is the one that I was by myself, so I didn't take anything because when I'm alone, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I need to be like,
alert.
I need to have my faculties about
Mm-hmm.
me. I sat next to this very nice older woman who had a farm of donkeys. Shit, you not. Dawn, you're a real one. And she was just like, we were on the same wavelength the whole time. She was like, how do we figure out how to get our seats up? How do we get this trip? Do you want to watch a movie? Like, how do we figure this out?
Mm-hmm.
What movie are you watching? Like, fuck yeah, Dawn. Tell me more about your donkeys. This is great.
I love her.
So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she was great. She was like a godsend. She took me to Vienna. So it was lovely.
Love that.
Yeah, does anybody...
We have 7 people here.
Is there anything that you are specifically afraid of that we can discuss before we move on to perhaps the next thing? We have lots of things we're going to play with tonight. This is just a fun free-for-all. Now, I know a lot of you mentioned certain ones that you might not be hearing right now, like, this is the one I picked, topophobia, little holes close together.
Oh.
Yeah, I hate that too. And that's rotating
doors.
doors.
Oh, that's an interesting
You know
one.
what? I don't care for them either, and it's because they're just unpredictable.
I mean, they are unpredictable.
And it's so fast. Well, I have to keep up with you, and like, what if I miss? And then what if I end up going around?
in like hotels in New York City, they're like, that's too much.
That's because people in New York are like, fuck this, I gotta go, and they know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm like, I just want to go to the hotel.
Did you have like a bad experience with rotating doors?
I think I'm gonna get stuck.
Okay, I get it.
I'm also very claustrophobic. All of mine, I kind of feel are related, because I don't want to be like stuck in a spot and out of control of my body, like unable to do things. So people who have like buried alive or which is just intense claustrophobia, I think. Right. And for me, that's planes too. I'm very claustrophobic, so when I get on a plane, I'm like, I can't leave for a long time. I'm in this tunnel. I'm in a tunnel for a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't care for that whatsoever. When I have MRIs, I have to be unconscious because it's
Oh,
I
wow.
can't. The fact that I can't move my body,
Mhm.
hate it so much.
I mean, I guess it's better for them and for you if you're, because that way you're not moving.
Listen, I argued that a lot to my insurance, and they were like, "Out of pocket, friend."
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, insurance is terrible.
I had to pay for the sedation, not the MRI, but I had to pay for that because I
Still,
couldn't sit still.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. So
I did not know my sound was on.
that's okay.
It's not.
We're good.
What else? Oh, and I did figure out that I would call it, even though it already is a situational phobia, I have like situational claustrophobia
Okay.
because I'm generally fine in, like, have you ever gone to like one of the haunted houses where like the walls come in and like they're like blow up walls?
Hate that.
See?
Hate it. Like going through the birth canal.
Yes,
Can't do it.
exactly. Totally fine with that. Like laughing the whole time.
Mm-mm.
However, I did almost pass out in the theater watching As Above So Below because they were underground and like the rocks were coming down and everything, and I started to not be able to breathe, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, so I do have a fear there. What is it?" And maybe it's like being buried alive or something. Because generally I'm fine in spaces, small spaces, big spaces, whatever.
I would wager it's because you are in control of all your faculties when you're in those spaces, but something collapsing in on you
have control over it.
It all comes back to control.
Yeah.
You're out of control of your situation.
You're good at this.
Thank you. I have most of my psychology degree. I literally have like 3 classes left.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, then the pandemic happens and like kind of took me by storm. And you guys get more of me than psychology did. So that's how that went.
Yeah, so I would call it like situationally.
Yeah, no, I get
claustrophobic.
And that's the same thing with people who have a fear of being buried alive. I think it comes back to a claustrophobic type situation.
Yeah.
And also the thought that like you now can see your own mortality.
100%.
When you have a finite window to stay alive, you're aware of that, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. But at the same time, I have no fear of death.
I'm like, I have like hives right now. I can't. Nope. I hate that idea.
Yeah.
I don't like the thought of death at all.
Oh, it doesn't bother me at all.
It's because you're like, I'm just gonna be everybody's ghost. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, fair. That's fair.
What if I don't get to be?
Oh, I'll make sure. Don't worry.
God.
We'll hang out. We'll be pals.
Good. Cheers. Thank goodness. I don't know.
So what should we talk about now?
Yes. Well, I think we have a few more. I have one of the ones that I found the most interesting. And we can tell a few stories when Leslie's going to be here in a minute, and we'll do it then. But this has been fun. I like this. If you don't, I'm so sorry.
How could you not like the two of us hanging out, chatting with you?
Talking about Dawn and her donkeys on a plane.
I want to meet Dawn and her donkeys.
I wish I had gotten a number or something. It would have been weird. Like, can I have your number?
Can I come to your donkey farm? Is the real question that I would have.
I very much wanted to go to her donkey farm. She showed me pictures.
Oh,
it was a delight. They were so cute. They're like little pets too. They're not like.
Oh, okay.
Not packing-muling them up a mountain or something. I don't know why else you have a donkey. I don't.
Yeah.
So I have another one that I found really interesting, and that was the fear of mirrors.
Oh, you did say something about that.
We've talked about this before when we covered like. I have a list too about children seeing ghosts.
Oh, well.
Because Leslie, I'm waiting for Leslie. Because Leslie hates kid ghosts. So I was like, these are not stories necessarily about child ghosts.
Right.
But the fact that when your kid is like, I like the people in the wall. No. Absolutely not.
I hate that I was that child.
Of course you were.
My parents.
Of course you were.
My parents used to like basically draw straws on who was going to put me to bed because I would talk to people who weren't there. They were like, "It's your turn tonight."
See, in my home, first of all, it would be my daughter, without question. And second of all, it would be like, well, you made this happen. This is your genetics, so you should deal with it. That's Leslie's here!
Leslie's here!
She did it!
Hooray! Let me grab you a chair.
Doing it! We're trying. We're gonna have to like momentarily scoot the computer and get Leslie in here. However you wanna do it, friend. And we'll back this up. Sorry, guys. Before we, can you get that thing to fill? Thank you. You weren't here while we buffered for 25 minutes. It was tense.
It was very funny.
We don't even need that. Were you? It was just like a spiral for so long. It was terrible.
It was,
but everyone was very patient. Should we move the whole table maybe? So we have a little more distance.
I'd say maybe.
You want to give it a little pull?
Yeah, we'll need that little.
Can you tell me when?
I think that's probably good. Get you in.
Yeah. You guys said all my fears already, so.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I had to include my hairdresser.
That one
That was
took
a
me by
good one.
surprise.
That
And I
was a
didn't
really
realize
good
that
one.
maybe I
Well,
had
you're
that.
welcome.
We didn't have them. I was just trying to figure out why people had them. So, that was a fun time. I have a list as well. I was going to do mirrors right now, but then now you've arrived. So I have a list of things, of people who their children have seen ghosts.
Oh.
See?
You like arrived
I
and
knew
it was
she would
bombarded
hate
with
it.
people.
Man.
I knew she would hate it so much. It's not
This
just
is-
ghosts,
okay,
but it's your
this-
kid that's like, there's a ghost.
But that's okay. That is a legit fear of mine, that I was going to have a child who would just be playing with a ghost friend.
That's what I said. And John was that child.
I was that child. I literally can't wait until that silly story I wrote. I want to save it for like a different episode.
Okay.
Because I want you to read it.
I think I need to read
you
it.
need to read it to
I
the
think
people.
okay.
Well, maybe this is the time.
I mean, perhaps.
I mean,
It's a little bit
we
lengthy,
don't have
but
a
it's
vast audience right now. You can also
No.
give it a try.
Or should I read it for our recorded?
good. Maybe, yeah.
I'll read it.
And
Okay.
we'll just sit there and describe what Leslie looks like.
I love that.
Clenches every muscle.
We can take a video of me reading it.
We definitely
Oh,
should.
yes.
That's happening. And on us watching.
Oh, I'll do a little like before I read
Yeah.
this spooky story and then after. And it's just you like,
I sound really excited about it right now. I will not be at the
no,
time.
it's okay. No.
So here are some, just a few. This is probably like a bazillion of them, but I'm just going to read a few. My 4-year-old kept freaking out about his closet. He would refuse to go in his room if the closet door was open, and he would always have me close it first. He's autistic, and struggles with communicating, so he had a hard time explaining to me what was scaring him inside. When I finally got him to answer me, he simply said, "The chef."
The chef?
He got a knife, probably. Mm-mm.
See, I immediately just pictured the chef with the Little Mermaid.
Or the Swedish chef that's like,
That would be terrible.
you know what? That would be awful. Human hands, Muppet face, no English at
Oh
all.
my god,
It
yeah.
keeps me up all night. Food goes everywhere.
Just a late night spaghetti thrown on your face.
Shopping all over the place.
Oh, wait, that's really funny.
Haley Ferry said, my daughter used to talk all the time about her other mom and brother and sister. Hard no.
There was a whole other family of ghosts.
Oh, I hate that. No.
No.
We're just gonna crawl in the fireplace and turn
Listen,
it on. I can't.
I'm here for it.
Oh no. Okay, so
Give me the
two,
ghost family.
you'd be fine. You'd be like, I know it. It's fine.
I'm like,
I
oh,
can
it's
talk to you.
Barbara. I know Barbara.
Robert Daly Bakeland.
Oh my god.
We'd have a lot to talk about. Moving on. Not long ago, I was putting my 3-year-old to bed when he looked over my shoulder and asked, "Mom, who are they?" Oh no! I looked, and of course, no one was there. But then my son said, "Go away. This is my house," before falling right back to sleep. So sleep with your son every night because he's the only one that can save you.
Yeah.
Your baby can't talk yet.
I was like,
You're
yeah,
fine.
no, we can't talk yet.
But sometimes she just stares off,
Oh,
or and then like giggles.
I have a story.
Oh.
So I have one of these. I actually have one of these, and it was my son. It wasn't Violet, which is
Oh,
weird.
really?
You'd think it was Violet. When I briefly lived in a very old colonial in Bordentown, that I found out was so famously haunted, it was on their ghost tour after I had lived there for like a week. My son was like a baby, like in a crib, a baby.
yeah.
And he was on the 3rd floor, and our bedroom was on the 2nd. And at night, sometimes the monitor would go off. We'd hear him cry or during his nap. It was more during his nap than it was overnight. And this is courteous. This was not a cruel ghost. This was a very nice ghost. I'll tell you who he was in a minute. Mostly during his nap. So we'd hear Flynn make sound, like crankety crank crank sound, and then quiet, and then he'd just laugh. He'd just be laughing, just giggling and clapping and having a grand old time. And his room was in the place where when we finally found this out, and they were like, "Oh, your house is on the ghost tour. It's haunted by an older man. His name is George. It's normally on the second floor by the bathroom and this." And I was like,
"Oh, yeah, we know George.
That's my room, and then upstairs, right above that, is my son's room." And they're like, "He really loves children, not in a weird way. Like this is like an older grandpa type guy that actually really likes children." And I was like, "He is going in there when my son cries."
Oh,
Yeah, so it's nice, but
so
also
nice.
fucking scary.
It
Like,
makes me so nauseous.
yeah. So that's a real thing, and it happened reliably. And why I say it's courteous is because thinking about it more, it didn't happen overnight. Really.
Right.
It only happened during his nap. I think this person was slightly cognizant of the fact that, like, at 3 a.m., everyone might hate this.
Yeah.
So I
true.
can't be doing this. And the people who told us about him was also like, "You probably won't ever hear from this guy. He doesn't love adults. He's not like he's not friendly to grown-ups.
He's just a
he's a
spectral
sucker
babysitter.
for children." Yeah, I know. And as creepy as that sounds, like my son was always happy, and I can't ask Flynn about it because he was an infant.
Yeah.
He had no idea what was going on. But I would always go up there and be like, "Yay, happy as can be."
Listen, if I was a parent and I could hire a ghost babysitter, I'd save so much money.
Well, let me tell you something. Every single time I go, "Thank you, George," I would always say thank you.
Yeah.
We said goodnight when we went to bed. I was very polite to this entity.
Nice.
I did not want any spookiness occurring at me instead of around me.
Right.
But yeah, that totally happened.
Love that.
Let's read a couple more. Leslie likes them. When I was a kid, we had a rocking chair. Nope.
Oh, immediately rocking chair. Those are the worst.
I know. And Leslie,
Can we go next? Just next. Just next.
I'm so I can't.
now we have to know, right? Yeah.
No, we know.
And there was always an old lady sitting in it. I would talk to her for hours at a time, and my mother never said a thing about it. It's like George. Until a few years ago when we were talking about memories from our old house. I told her I missed the old lady who lived with us, and she responded, "There was no
old lady."
So I grabbed a photo album to show her who I was talking about, and she smiled and said, "That's your dad's grandmother. She really wanted to meet you, but she died before you were born." It was invoking the Nana, Leslie.
You can't be mad at that one.
But
you did invoke the Nana.
As long as the parent, I didn't watch the rocking chair rock.
No.
Okay.
This is as a kid was talking to it.
That's fine.
Okay. My mom
I'm
replied,
okay with
"We
that.
didn't have a rocking chair. We didn't have a rocking
see,
chair."
so
So it was
But
a ghost.
she did.
So see, that's fine. I have no idea what was going
Right.
on. I just thought my child was talking to a corner. I'm good.
Right.
That was the worst part for me.
Oh,
Nope, that made it all better.
in my bedroom, we had a
didn't have
little
rocking
chair, and I would talk to like relatives that had passed on before I was so young, and my parents were like, "No, you put him to bed. I won't put him to bed. You put him to bed."
Oh no, poor John.
Somebody put me to bed.
I just want to go to slumber. Oh no, I was a Victorian child, but I was.
Victorian ghost child.
I was picturing you in like a white gown. You just, you poor thing.
Please, mother.
So I hate this one.
No.
When my daughter was 3 years old, she started telling us that she was being woken up in the night by a man who kept tickling her feet. But she said it didn't scare her because he was always smiling.
Yeah, I hate that one.
We figured she was just dreaming until we came across an old picture of my grandparents on their wedding day. These have like morals.
It's hard to be scary when
And
it's
my
your
daughter
grandpa.
pointed at my grandfather and said, "That's him. That's the man who tickles my feet. My grandfather passed away when I was 6. Stop doing that, Grandpa. What a weird fucking thing to do.
Super,
Don't do that.
Like,
Don't do that. Nope, that's weird. I don't like it.
I think I've heard that one before.
I don't like it at all.
hate it.
Don't care for it.
I always so on my bed, I always tuck the sheet under my feet
Mm-hmm.
so that
Oh, same.
nobody can.
What if
tickle
your
them.
Yeah.
if your feet are out? Anybody
You
could
leave a
touch
foot out for
them.
the demon. Like, no.
You can't. What are you
The
doing?
demon, Bob from Twin
The
Peaks.
dog from under the
I'm
bed that's
good.
gonna lick it. It's not good. We all read that story.
Yeah.
Unacceptable. Agreed.
Grandpa.
This
Oh,
kid's
no, I had my
grandpa.
foot from grandfather.
This very specific grandpa. Let me see if I have any more of these. When my nephew was about 4 years old, I gave him a bath one night. He would only let me lather him with soap if I let him hold the detachable shower head, so I did. However, every few seconds, he'd spray water over my left shoulder. I told him to stop because he was getting the floor wet. Well, he didn't listen to me, and finally I snatched the shower head out of his hands. He made a sad face and said, "Auntie, don't be mad. I was just keeping the man away from you." Then he pointed behind me, and there was no one there. I don't care for that.
You know, I don't like that one.
I was keeping the man
I was keeping the
away,
man away
from you. Pick the bear in that one.
Yeah.
Not the otter or the
I will-
dolphin.
Always pick the bear because I want to pet a bear.
I know you do.
I'm just,
You
you
just
know,
want to bears. That's how it's going to happen.
it's going to end me, but it's okay.
I can't wait to be Merida for Halloween this year. I'm so excited.
If you hire a bear to walk next to you.
No, I'm going to put Will in the midsummer costume.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
No one steal it. I've won
Yes.
Halloween.
You have, oh my god, wait, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's my goal to do that. Like the bloody face is like Merida. It's good. That's right. I picked the bear. It's fine. Okay. Do you guys have anything you want to? While I'm toggling around, do you have anything you want to talk about?
I just feel nauseous.
I have other stuff to freak you out with.
I mean, I
have
also have
come
other
with
stuff to
an
freak you out with.
I've come with an
specifically.
arsenal of things to just kind of pull from because this is just a free for all tonight.
Is there wine?
Yes, there is
Yeah.
a bottle of Seven Deadly.
I think-
Ooh, Seven Deadly. Yeah, and there's I got these glasses for Mother's Day and they've got rainbows on.
Where are they? What?
They're in the sink cabinet to the left. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I like that we have a boy now.
I know. Look at that.
Had ourselves a boy.
We did. So,
The wine's behind you, though, right?
we'll put it in here. So,
Yep.
yeah, there's. It's been a while since we had the Seven Deadly. One of my faves. I had a ginormous pour when we started because I had to.
You're still on your first one.
I am. I'm doing good.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah,
What's everyone doing?
we got some friends in here.
Yeah. Everybody's still with
A
us.
little call and response. Anybody? Let me. I have a couple. So you guys take over for 1 second. I'm gonna see if there's anybody rooting for me.
I have so one of my best friends is also one of those people that can see ghosts,
Mhm.
and it's mostly like family members a lot
Yeah.
of times. Like as an adult, she was like a waitress with me,
Mhm.
and so we worked at the Ugly Mug in Cape May,
Okay.
and she could see like the ghosts that were in
Oh my
there.
goodness.
And so she said one of them was like we would pour drinks at the bar and like you'd scoop. So if you were getting all the drinks ready for the table and you'd like bend down to scoop ice and put it in the cup.
Yeah.
So this would happen all the time. You would put your cups up there and then or like say a cup at least, you put the cup up, get the scoop and go to put the ice in it.
There's no
And then
cup.
the cup you'd miss it. And you were like, what the fuck? Oh, and the same thing, you'd get like the drink and you'd go to like spray
Oh,
and
yeah.
it would just be like an inch over.
That's
And
so
you're like,
annoying.
what? And she would say that she'd be like standing back there seeing like this little boy ghost like
Mhm.
move the cup.
Oh, yeah.
And then so there was that one. And then
That's funny.
there was another one where like she came in early to like help or came in early to set up. So all the bar stools were there and there was just two that like fell off. And one of the cooks like came back and they're like, what just happened? And they're just like, oh, there was just like these kids were just running around, but it was just the ghosts.
Yeah.
And then but when
And you were
she
like,
was
surrounded
little,
by child ghosts.
I was like, yay! She didn't tell me this till after, so I was like, thank you. And then, but she told me that when she was little, she like terrified her mother because she would sit in her room for like long periods of time playing with what her mom thought was her imaginary friends, to then come to find out that who she was playing with was like an aunt and uncle. And it was like family that had died that she never would have met that were back in Portugal too. Like, because they're Portuguese. So like,
okay, so I've heard a lot of stories about like kids being like, yeah, when I was an older person and these were my friends, and people who have like past live things, I think that's terrifying too.
Oh, I think it's
Kids who were like, I was on the Titanic. This was my friend. I did this. When it went down, it was cold.
And you're like, you're 2 years old. How do you know what the Titanic is?
Get your weird tiny adult self out of here right now.
Wrap it up.
Cannot. Shut it down.
Yeah, it's
we're
like
done.
up until they're like 5, they have like these weird adult memories,
like
and you're like, what
memories.
is going on? Oh, there's ones where it's like they'll be holding like their parent's hand, but talking to them like their parent is their child too. Like that's like a weird one.
I don't like
there was
that.
the one case that was like really famous of like the kid who was able to name people that he flew with, and some of them were still alive.
I don't care for that at all.
I was like, this is so cool. Love
I
that.
don't care for that in any way, shape, or form. It's not nice.
I'm just scared for the day that my daughter can. So I wanted a daughter, but I was terrified of also having a daughter because they're the scariest ones.
They are the scariest ones, 100%.
So I'm terrified for her with like her long hair, and I'll have her in a Victorian gown one day because it'll be adorable and terrifying. And then she will just be standing there outside my door, just like, mother.
Cannot make you feel any better.
Yeah. No, and also I was that child. My mom would say, so like where our beds were, I'd have to go by their bedroom to go to the bathroom. And so I'd get up in the middle of the night, and they always had their door open, and I would stand at their doorway, and my mom would open her eyes and see me, and be like, ah.
Do you
and then I'd run, and then I'd go to the bathroom.
Do you know how many times I've woken up to a child like this? You will open your eyes, and they will be right there. That's in your future. I'm so sorry. That does happen.
I had that last night because
I have to tie my hands on them because I immediately was like,
No, you go like this. Because your brain goes, my child, what's happening? Ah! And then you like slow down. It's very weird. It's like the weirdest thing because it is scary. It is scary, but like you also know it's your kid.
Yeah.
Tell me what you were gonna say, and then I will tell you something that it'll make you scared of your children forever.
So last night, I woke up to Bowie's face, and she was just staring at me.
Yeah.
and then she booped me.
Oh yeah,
and
the hand that does this and it slows down. Yeah.
Yeah, and then went back to sleep.
Like, why are you clammy? That's
nice. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. So when my kids were probably about 3 and 5 or 6, I was asleep one morning. It was like a weekend, and my husband had gotten up with them, and I was still asleep because I'm the one that can't sleep at night. And it wasn't late. It was probably like 8:30. And I'm in my sleep state, and all of a sudden I hear voices, little tiny voices speaking. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I open my eyes, and I look around, and there's no one in my room.
oh my God.
And I hear talking. I hear little giggles and little voices. And I'm like, what? I'm good. Is this where it ends? Am I still asleep? What's going on? So I like give it another, I'm like fucking terrified. I'm like hyperventilating. Like, what is happening? I look all over. There is no one in my room. My room is empty. Nothing. And then I hear like underneath my bed. You see how that shook? That's what everything did. And I was like, what? My kids were under my bed. Whispering and laughing.
See, why whispering? I don't like the whispering.
They were being quiet so they wouldn't wake me up. And I was like, Will?
He was just dead asleep.
He was downstairs like, I don't know.
Sorry.
They were. they're fine. I don't I'm like, yeah,
That's really
they
funny.
are under my bed. It was terrifying.
Well, honestly, though, that situation, and then Will having to deal with his night terrors. I would
Will
take
doesn't deal
that.
with his night terrors. I do.
I know, but he still has to he still has to see whatever it is that he sees.
Usually he's trying to like wake up. He feels like this relates to phobias pretty significantly because he feels like he can't wake up. He feels out of control of his body, so he has to kick something. But he also can't open his mouth and he screams. So it sounds like this. And then he's like trying to kick and his face is rigid. Now, I want you all to imagine that happening when you've been dating someone for a short period of time. It was fine. I wake him up. Now it doesn't even bother me. I'm like, wake up. And he's like, we're fine. We're good. That first time I was like,
nudge, nudge.
Right.
is this a seizure? I'm going to have to call 911. What's happening? Yeah, so.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only had like one night terror as like an adult. And I don't really remember what was going on, but I just remember like waking up screaming and like half off of my bed.
Yeah, Violet used to walk around. She used to scream and she used to hit. She would punch me and walk around. Like Violet had really violent ones. Yeah,
Oh my
it was
goodness.
awful. It was so scary.
Have you ever slept?
Once or twice when I was younger, but
Mhm.
I'm not really a sleepwalker.
Twice when I was a teen. And that was it. It was so random too. And it was not at home. We were at the Poconos.
That's more common actually when you're in like unfamiliar surroundings.
But I did do like the Victorian like child thing because my friend's parents were sleeping in this room, and then my friend's brother and his cousin were sleeping in this room. And I just opened the door to their room, like the brother and the cousin, and was just standing there in the doorway, like light behind me. So it was just a shadow.
Backlit, terrible.
And then I closed the door, and then when they were done screaming, they walked out, and I was already asleep on the couch again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I didn't believe them. I still sometimes don't believe them, but everybody seems to think that it really happened, or it tells me that it really happened.
Weird. I did it a couple times when I was little.
Yeah.
But it ended, and never like to the extent where people really saw much, and like. Violet, she was like eyes open.
Really?
Yeah, she looked cognizant. I had to ask the doctor what it was. They were like, those are like night terrors. Not sleep paralysis, it's night terrors.
Right.
And it would always happen to her. And this is actually, if you have kids or you're going to have kids, listen, it's oddly common that when they are getting sick, when it's coming on, that's what happens.
Like raising temperatures and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm. So I would always know if Violet had like a bout of them, I'd be like, oh, she's going to be sick. It's coming. And it was like a barometer. It worked every freaking time. She every time. And I don't know what it was, but it made her like, I would have to, I know they say don't wake a sleepwalker, but when a child is like swinging at you, you have to wake them up. And I would have to put her in the tub and put on the warm water, and the water would like whoop.
Wow.
And then she would wake up. Yeah.
Oh, that's like intense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you don't do that unless it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But obviously it was in a state where like she needed to come out of whatever she was in. There was no waiting it out. And it would be hours. Sometimes it would be like 90 minutes before. God. Yeah, it was long. It was scary. It's a wonder that I'm still as put together as I am. If I am. But yeah.
That's wild. I just thought it was annoying that like my son would sleepwalk and like he'd be awake but like groggy. And he would kind of talk to you, but then he wouldn't like be listening to you. So it was actually just more annoying. You were just like, oh god, like,
go back to bed.
You're so annoying right now. But I would just tell him to go back to bed, and he would just be like, no, that's
Violet would
the
wake
extent.
up. We would be woken up to screaming. And she was like 4, so she wasn't an infant that was like, oh, I have to go feed my baby. It was like your toddler is like, out of nowhere.
That's wild.
It's not the best thing to wake up to.
Does not sound fun, no.
Pretty scary. But she had no idea what was going on. She doesn't remember it at all. She's heard
Really?
about it. Yeah.
Wow.
I told her about it. She's like, what? She has no recollection of any of it whatsoever. Doesn't remember. Yeah, she's 13 now, so she's cognizant of me telling her things.
Jeez. No, you never warned me about this when I babysat.
It never happened until like unbelievably late at night.
Yeah.
It was never like until after 3 in the morning where it would
Yeah.
happen like that. So I was like,
We're safe.
no one's
Yeah.
encountering that. So yeah.
Oh, man.
Do we have any other fears we want to talk about? How are we doing?
How's
Check in.
Who's still here?
Who
Can
is
we
here?
have a little wave
Who
or
are
a little
you? Say hello. There's 4.
send us some emojis.
So just do something. Tell us
Anything.
seriously.
Give us some validation.
Validation. You're worth dying on.
She is every
That's
time.
Good. That's good.
Every time.
I like it. We got a
Oh,
heart.
there was a heart.
Somebody said
I
a heart.
saw
I know, we're like, are we talking to ourselves? We're not really sure. It's fine.
There is a delay, and then I didn't realize that when I first sent you the hairdresser
Mhm.
one, that I was at a 2-minute delay. So
Oh
then
my
I was
goodness.
like,
Oh
when
my
are they
goodness.
gonna get to my comment?
I was like, oh, okay.
And then when you guys saw it, then I was
We
like,
saw
oh,
it.
wait.
You pretty quickly when it came up. So I was like, Leslie!
I was there.
You're here.
Hooray.
Yay! I'm listening to you guys while I do my nails. Awesome.
Very nice.
Love it. Okay, we're just checking in. We're just
Yeah, I just want to make
just making sure
sure.
you guys are still in to hang out. I mean, we have anything we can talk about.
Anything goes tonight, you know?
Anything does go tonight.
Anything goes tonight.
Anything Ghost?
Ooh.
That's the name of our musical.
Yeah.
Anything Ghost.
Ooh.
Trademark, I'm serious.
What's no sticker for you? Listening. I'm listening.
Listening while
Playing fun games. Okay.
Oh, all
You
right.
know, I like to have a couple things going at once.
Mhm.
Also, because my brain needs to focus on several things at once.
I
It's fine.
usually am listening to the pod when I am baking at 3 o'clock in the morning on my. I don't know. if you
Don't
have
say her
one.
loudly.
I know.
She is in there listening.
I figured. So
Okay.
yeah, and I usually have her like super loud, and my whole family's asleep, and it's just like, and they were murdered brutally, or it's validation.
Yeah, you know. I still have to order a validation shirt. I want one.
Oh, we have them now. We have them now. I just also need to deliver them. So I will do
I
that.
want one.
Yeah.
So me.
You have one. You have one.
Yay!
I got us. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should order them for us.
Sewing my dog's bed back together. You know what, Haley?
Oh,
I had to sew my
been
couch
there.
back together a lot of times because of my dog. I get it.
I don't know.
Not
how to
the little
sew,
ones
So I
that-
stapled it back together. I just admitted that on the air.
I love it. And not Dipper, not the little one. My bigger dog is the one who rips things apart. Dipper would never. He's a prince.
Such
Yeah.
a prince.
Yeah.
He was here earlier,
Mhm.
Aw.
being a precious teddy bear. Well, first he
Yeah.
was screaming, and then he
Yeah,
was
of
on air, and he was happy.
Okay.
So that tracks. I like sassy dogs. It's fine. I can read this article and we can discuss the mirror thing. I think Leslie does not care for mirrors. Is this true?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
Well,
Do you
because
have a fear of mirrors?
no, because when we did
What?
like Bloody Mary and stuff.
I think it was the Bloody Mary
But
situation.
in a mirror.
She's
Okay.
like, I'm fine to look into a mirror, but don't let
Yeah.
there be a
No, I
ghost
mean
in
like
it.
dark
Mirrors are
mirrors.
Fine. Like,
I want to try
Dark.
Have you ever heard of a psychomantium?
No,
What is that?
tell us about that.
Ooh, it's like a mediumship practice where you have basically a mirror that's been painted black, and then a
Ugh.
candle in front of it,
Mhm.
and then a mirror behind you as well. And you like sit in a little dark room with just the mirror, and you like gaze into the mirror, and you're supposed to see things.
So there's a reason you see things,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I was actually just about to talk about.
It's
What?
like I have ESPN or something.
What a good segue. I want to see if I can find this article. I mean, I can summarize it for you, but it's better if I can directly quote people.
Yeah.
Because I feel better about
summarize.
it. Summarize? All right, well, okay. Fuck it.
You can-
Fuck those people.
Fuck those people.
I like your versions of things better anyway.
Thank you. So the reason that we are afraid specifically of dark mirrors, like the situation you're talking about, people will see things 100% of the time. And here's why. Your brain is programmed to fill in the blank. It's programmed to see patterns, and it's programmed to, if you only see half of something, like a puzzle,
To finish
it will finish it. So when in the dark, you are looking in a mirror, dim, you can't really see all of your features. Your brain's going to connect the dots. But because your face looks a little different in the dark, it's not going to fill in with your face.
Okay, I don't like this anymore.
No, it's not great. It's not great. It's not great. I'll look it up in a second. The phenomenon has a name. It's like the dark. It's got a terrible name too.
Oh, I bet.
But your brain just goes that, and sometimes it's a monster, and sometimes it's a different face, and sometimes it's just not either one of those things. But your brain is doing that because it can't figure out what you're looking at. Not because you're seeing a ghost. I told you were gonna hate it. And you were like, I love mirrors, it's fine.
The next time we're in your house and the mirrors are all covered,
Oh my god.
there's a floodlight in front of every single mirror.
These are things that I have to deal with immediately. Like the cute ghost things are kind of like,
Yeah.
whatever. But like a mirror?
I know, but take comfort in the fact that it's not actually a monster. It's a psychological phenomenon. It's your brain trying to go, here's how I make sense of this, as opposed you're buffering, as opposed which I've done a lot tonight, as opposed to like an actual monster looking at you. It's just the way that your eyes and brain connect.
But the image behind you is an actual monster.
But there actually is a monster there. So probably run. I don't know. But I forget what it's called. Let me look. Isn't it weird though?
I love that.
So as much as remember when I said you were gonna hate it and you're like, I'm fine with mirrors.
I didn't know where you were going with it.
I knew that she was gonna be like, no, I knew it was coming.
You have a problem with mirrors. I didn't.
But now you do.
I'm probably not gonna be able to find it now, but this one elicited such a response that I'll probably add it to our Half-O-Ween episode.
Good Lord.
It's called like spectrophobia, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, it is, with like a specter, because you see a ghost. Because the other thing is, like a mirror image of your face is not what your face actually looks like. It's
Oh
like
my goodness.
slipperoo.
A true mirror? Have you ever seen the true mirrors?
I don't care for that at all.
I need to find one.
Wait, what is this? What's this?
A true mirror shows your reflection the way someone else sees you, not just a
So you
mirror.
can do it on your phone.
Like a phone.
Yes, but I feel like I need to see it not on a phone. I feel like I need to see it.
So
It's
I look 10% worse to everybody.
Yep. Not worse. It's not worse. You just don't recognize it as well. So to you,
Yeah.
it's foreign and weird.
Wait,
So
so when you fix it, when you flip it back on the phone,
mhm.
is that weird to other people then?
No, that's normal to other
No.
people. That's how you look to other people. Unbalanced and crooked.
Yep.
No. You take, because when you take the picture of yourself,
Mhm.
Mhm.
like when you flip it, I feel like that looks better because that's how.
See, I feel like I look worse.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Sometimes
Wait.
it's conditional though. Sometimes when I flip it, I'm like, that's how I'm supposed to see it. Because when I take a picture,
Because
and I say, like,
that's what it looks like in
Yeah.
the mirror.
Because
well, I mean, add this weird phenomena of you're seeing something that's not quite photo accurate into the fact that it's dark, and your brain's going to fill in blanks that you never wanted to fill in.
Because that's how people
So
see
that's
you.
how. No, but I don't think it is.
That's how you see you.
That's how I see me. But that's how people see me, and I look like fucking sloth.
Oh, so maybe I'm 10% hotter.
Yeah, let's go with
Right.
that.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
But this is great for me. I'm gonna run with this newfound
Right.
confidence.
Oh no. This one is called the Caputo effect.
So when I post photos, people are probably like, "You just don't look as good in photos."
I
That's
get
cool,
it.
that's cool.
So I really like this one, and we will. I'm not going to waste any more time looking for it. It has like it's called like the like dark mirror effect, dark shadow. It has a terrible, scary name, but because clearly it's something that is interesting and elicits a response, I'm going to add it to our episode. So there you go. We'll talk about mirrors. I'll find a story about a mirror that is not Candyman or Bloody Mary, both of which we've already done, but more absolutely exists. So yeah, I found that looking at mirrors and then also dark windows. That's different because Again, your brain is still
Yeah.
filling in gaps, but it's not your own face, unless you're seeing your reflection and that's what you're afraid of. But usually it's because like we have a window my bay window is right in front of us. So if you could vaguely see outside, your brain would do the same thing. It would fill in the gaps. And you
Mhm.
might see my swing set and the trees and the fence and a table, or you might see fucking horrors. Depends on how your brain has connected those dots at any given time.
Listen, the horrors persist, but so do I.
Same. Same. It's all we can ask for, really. But yes, John, if you ever do this specific ritual that you're talking about,
yeah.
it is actually a psychological trick. Your
I
brain is
love
telling
that.
you monsters.
Yes.
And so that's why you're seeing them.
And I'm like, your great aunt Sylvia.
And here's the really fucked up thing.
Is
That
the monster?
happens, the like seeing scary shit, to like 80% of people.
Yeah.
It's not a fraction. It's like most of us. Most of us will not just see our reflection. We will see some weird, terrifying shit. So if you want to scare yourself, dim your lights down to like 10, 15% and look in a mirror. I won't, but you can. That's fine.
I'll get back to y'all.
But think about that. If you've ever walked past one
Mhm.
when it's like dark in a room and you're like, ugh, that's why. You don't know what you're seeing. You don't recognize it as you.
I guess I don't think I look at them.
I don't think you would look
I don't-
at them.
yeah,
I think you'd be like, no, gotta keep going.
There's a mirror when you like. So when you walk right into my door, there's a mirror right there to the right. And at night, I will look at the door, make sure the door is locked, and I will scoop right past the mirror and walk right up the stairs. I don't know why, but I'm just like,
Because
I'm good.
if you did look, you'd see the horrors. So
The horror.
I also think that the human brain understands that seeing half of something
It's not conducive
is
to life.
pretty risky.
Yeah.
So you're going to be like, that's not gone well in the past.
Right.
I'm going to keep going. Because again, we seek out patterns. We try to learn every time something happens. In the past, if that's freaked you the fuck out,
Yeah.
you're going to look the other way.
It's
It's just
mostly
how we're
because
gonna
I
do
don't
it.
want to see something else, like not me,
Yeah.
something else, like
Right.
like something next to me, something behind
But also,
me.
even if you just saw your brain might create something else.
I know, but if it was just one thing,
I'm just saying it's a valid fear
Yeah.
because it might connect the dots in a way that there's
but that's
two of you.
specifically why I don't.
Especially if
Yeah.
you're mobile, if you're moving, that's a track. You could easily see more than one thing because your brain is just going,
Mhm.
it's dark, there it is. There's 5. Like you don't get a riff about it. It's so bad.
Hate that.
Yeah, well, this is why I don't decorate with mirrors. Fair enough. You
I have a
know,
mirror at the end of
that's
my
fair.
bed.
I do too.
Well,
I have
I used to. I moved my bed now. Now it's not there. But it was like when I was on this side of the room, there was right behind my bedroom door. There's like a body, like a whole body
Okay,
mirror.
yeah. I have
And-
a full length across from
Yeah.
my bed, but like it's offset a little bit.
Right. And I would just, and it's like old, so I had like speckles in it and stuff like that. And I would just be like, you know what? I will face this way tonight.
Yeah. That's why. I mean, that's partially why not a lot of bedrooms have a mirror unless you're like feeling freaky. You have it on the ceiling. They don't have mirrors like real
See,
close
but
to the bed.
imagine like a mirror on
I
the
would
ceiling at night.
shit myself.
like,
I
There's
would wake
somebody
up and be
suddenly
like,
next to you,
"No."
and you are not. There's nobody there.
Yeah, it's like a
No.
fucking phantom right over your head. Absolutely not. There is no weird sex
Depends
that
on
is
who's playing
worth
the
it.
Phantom.
No, thank you.
Ramin Karimul, the Phantom. That's fine.
It's not Ramin. It's your brain filling in a horrible
Right.
thing.
Just like.
And it's not a back, it's a face.
No.
Just saying.
No.
Leslie's so scared she's tired
I
because
am.
you know fully well that when Leslie is afraid of things, she's like, go to sleep.
Goodbye.
Good night, guys.
We've said this every time. We're like, if you were in a haunted house or a scary like ghost adventure overnight, John and I were like, well, we'd be doing this. Leslie's like, I'd be asleep at 7 o'clock because I'm not playing that game.
I would
And
be
I would just turn it off.
shaking
Yeah.
your bed. Like, wake
And
up.
I would
She'd
just
be
be like,
so like
rocking. We're
yeah.
rocking to sleep.
Yeah, she would not play games. That would not happen. Fair enough. That's
If I'm
fine.
going to die, I'm going to do it comfortably in my sleep.
John and I would see the sunrise, and Leslie would
Yes.
comfortably sleep the sleep of the ages. That's
You
how
guys
that
want
would go.
breakfast? I'm going to
We
go
would wake-
downstairs.
I know we'd be like, it's light out. Good night.
You wake up so refreshed. We're like, we've seen some shit.
We look like the mirror image you're afraid of. Yeah, that's how
Yep.
that goes. So, yeah. Mirrors. I had one other thing that I was actually also including in our episode, so I may save that at this point.
Save it.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teaser.
Yeah.
Teaser.
Teaser. It's disgusting. It's the one that I said I didn't want to record because it's so disgusting. There's only a couple of us here, and I feel like.
Oh. I literally just sounded like a cow. I went, oh.
Oh my god.
So maybe you'll get more of that too. You never know.
I love this hair.
I know.
Oh, my
Like, what's
all the
happening?
voluminous things. and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm a product of the '80s, and that's what we're giving right now. So I think that is all I have for this evening. If there is any Q&A from the other friend we have here, or you two, let me know. That is all the ammunition I brought. Kids who see ghosts. Why we're afraid of mirrors.
That was a lot for me.
I know.
I don't know why I came.
Well, I saved it for when you were here too. I was like, we'll just do this psychological stuff before Leslie gets here, and then we'll talk about the
It's been
horrors
like-
when she arrives.
Just the last 30 minutes have just been awful for
We
me.
did save it for you.
I mean, yeah. There's always, I could tell one of the case stories I had. The one,
No, don't do one of the big ones.
no. Well, okay. I'll say.
Save that for.
We're
it.
teasing. You gotta listen to the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
you
gonna
had
be good.
you had a bunch. Okay, but no, say
Yeah, I have two that were pretty good.
also. We'll go over that in a minute. Okay. Well, I think we're good for the night. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I thought
Great.
that too. Thank you guys for tuning in. That was really fun. I hope you enjoy our upcoming HALF-O-WEEN episode, wherein we will have some really fully developed stories for you and some fiction. It's going to be a really fun time. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, we didn't sign on. So I'm Holly,
I'm Leslie.
I'm John.
and
We would be dead.
bye. You have to sign us off. I don't know
Wow.
technology.
End stream.